Let's pretend we're playing video games. Now, back in my day, video games are much more simpler. You collect things, you fight things, you shoot things, something like that. These days, I don't play video games anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's much more complex. But imagine, you gotta run around, you gotta collect things, and you get points on what you collect. So let's say you collect apples and you get 2 points. You collect an orange, you get 5 points. And you collect a watermelon, you get 10 points. The object of the game is to get as many points as possible so you can be the top scorer, right? Now, if you were to play that game, what are you looking out for? What are you trying to get as many of? Watermelons, right? Because if you collect 5 apples, you just get 10 points. You collect 1 watermelon, you get the 10 points. What the hell am I talking about? Well, this is the same approach you want to take with the PTE. You don't get the same amount of points for every single question. So in a previous video, I talked about the 4 main tasks that you want to focus on because they carry most of the points. But that wasn't enough because I still get messages from people asking me, should I spend more time on this? Should I spend more time on that? And a lot of times, it's the non-important tasks. It's the time wasters. Now in this video, I'm going to point out those 7 tasks that I feel like are not important. And when I say not important, a lot of times I just guess on them. So if you had to make a decision on what you want to spend the most time preparing for, well, you already know I pointed out those 4 tasks. Now I'm going to point out 7 that you shouldn't be spending too much time trying to perfect. Because you know there are 20 total questions. 4 of them already addressed. 4 of the most important ones I've already talked about. Now I'm going to introduce 7 that are not that important. So everything else just falls in the middle. So now you can prioritize. And you want to spend the most time on important questions or the ones in the middle. Definitely not spending most of your time preparing for the non-important tasks, because that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Now, if you didn't know, my name is Sonny, and this is Sonny English. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing, because I provide real tips and tricks on how to get your PTE score. So y'all ready for this? Let's get into it. Alright, so first off in the PTE, you start off with the speaking. So I'm going to start off with the speaking. There are 5 different tasks in the speaking, and the least important one comes at the very end. Answer short questions. Oftentimes people ask me, Sonny, is it true that we can just say 2 answers if we're not sure? Can we say 2 different options? No idea. The reason is I never bothered testing that. Why? Because I've been able to get well over 79, high 80s, even 90 in speaking without actually answering the answer short questions correctly, not even trying. Saying something like, no idea, we've been able to get 90 in speaking. So I never bothered trying to test saying 2 answers for the answer short questions. Why? I don't know if because the technique works or simply it just doesn't matter. Because I've been able to get a high score without the right answer. So how do I know that's the right answer? By saying it twice. You heard me? So the answer short questions is one of those time wasters. How do you even prepare for that? It's vocabulary, it's listening comprehension, right? Don't panic. Don't let that task dictate how you feel going into the writing, because it's not that important. So what if you missed a bunch of them? You're still able to get a high score in speaking. Now speaking of writing, writing does come next after the speaking. The writing only has 2 different tasks. Out of those 2, I would say the essay is not as important compared to the summary writing. But don't get me wrong, we will prepare for both. So there's nothing here that I want to talk about where I'm going to say it's a time waster. They're not time wasters. You do want to make sure you do well on both of the writing tasks. Now the next module is the reading module. Inside the reading module, we got 5 different tasks. And 2 of them are very similar. Multiple choice, single answer. Multiple choice, multiple answers. No matter what, it's multiple choice, right? Now, those 2 tasks would be your time wasters. The other ones, the 2 types of fill in the blanks, the real or paragraphs, nah, you do want to prepare for those. But the multiple choice type questions, they're not that important. But I think a lot of people know about this. However, I have people asking me this strange question. Sonny, is it true that in the multiple choice questions, we should just pick C every time? When I heard that, I laughed. You know why? It brought back memories from way back, way back when I was in school. And I wasn't that good of a student, all right? If you know what a curve is, when they say a teacher grades on a curve, well, I was the curve at the bottom. That means I was always the failing mark, okay? So back to what I was talking about. Picking C was our joke. We've always said that when in doubt, pick C. It means when you don't know, just pick C. And yes, I never know the answer, so I always pick C. But when I hear people apply that in PTE, like it's a technique, get that out of here. It's a joke. So, no, you don't have to just pick C. It's not going to guarantee you the right answer. Guessing is guessing. Now, I don't encourage you to guess. If you are able to answer the question, give it a try. If you don't know, it's okay to guess. Keep this in mind though, the past few times, about 5 times that I've taken the exam, out of those 5 times, 4 times I've gotten 90 in reading, and I've guessed every single time on the multiple choice questions. On one of the times where I didn't get 90 in reading, it was because I was testing something else and it affected the reading. It wasn't because the reading was bad. So what does that tell us? The multiple choice type questions? Not that important. If you don't know the answer, it's okay to guess. Don't give yourself pressure. Like you have to get this, you have to get this. You don't have to get this. And lastly, brings us to the listening. Listening has 8 different tasks. They do this to mess with you, all right? 8 different tasks. Which one's the most important? The last one, the right from dictation. They don't want you to finish this exam. They want you to run out of time. So out of these 8 tasks, they put 4 tasks in there that are time wasters, right? I said 7 tasks, 1 in the speaking, 2 in the reading, 4 in the listening. Now, how do we know which ones are time wasters? Anything that is multiple choice again, right? There's 2 tasks that they call it multiple choice. One is single answer, one is multiple answer. That's multiple choice. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you can't actually skip the lecture. You gotta listen to it. So it's up to you if you want to try, but it's not that important. Basically, when the lecture is over and you don't know the answer, you should guess. If you know the answer, then pick it, of course. But you should not be staying there a whole nother minute thinking, what did they just say? Hell no. Now, the other 2 would be the select missing word and the highlight correct summary. They're both multiple choice, even though they don't call it multiple choice. However, out of these 4 tasks, I would say the highlight correct summary has a slight more weight. What I mean by that is it affects your reading score as well. All the other multiple choice type questions in the listening, they don't affect anything else. Only the highlight correct summary. The highlight correct summary will also give you points in the reading. Is it a lot? Nah, not really. So it doesn't really matter that much. But if I were to try my best out of these 4 non-important tasks in the listening, I would put most of my energy in the highlight correct summary. So there you go, 7 non-important tasks. I went through real quick, and I also talked about some type of techniques people have mentioned to me before. And I don't really try any techniques on these tasks because what difference would it make, right? So you got 4 important tasks and then 7 non-important ones. You got 9 in the middle, which are mediocre. They have a good amount of points, but not as many as the 4 important ones. And then the non-important ones, time wasters. They're designed for you to run out of time so you can't finish the exam. There you have it. I hope I helped you cut down some preparation time. I hope you're not wasting time on non-important tasks. If you thought the tutorial was helpful, remember to check out my other tutorials. Once again, my name is Sonny, and this is Sonny English. Please remember to give me that like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.